deep in the shadows. I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi guys, CeeChronicles here, back again with another fragrance video. If you're new here, I post fragrance related content and would very much appreciate you joining the family. Now if you're back as a returning subby, thank you so much for the continued support. I have these Murky fragrances in front of me, the fragrances that come in this Murky liquid, and I thought to just give you a run through of what these fragrances are all about, in case you just see them and you're wondering, okay, do I need this type of fragrances? Are they going to be candy toned or what? But now the first two that I have here are from Latafa. These are musk scented fragrances, right? This one is musk wild vanilla, musk candy rose. I've got another one from Al Zafran. It says musk cotton candy. Another one again from Latafa. This is a very old fragrance in my collection, but I left a little bit of it because it's getting harder and harder to find. Musk Salama. And then of late I added musk Tahara vanilla to my collection. This one is of the house Gulf Orchid. So what we are going to have as a common denominator in all these fragrances, guys, is a note of musk. So these fragrances are mostly to anchor your already existing fragrance, unless of course they are built around a note that is super powerful. For instance, I have noticed that there is a pomegranate. That one is going to have the musk sharing equal shine with that pomegranate, so it's going to depend. So say for instance you bought musk, which one can I give you an example of? Say like this cotton candy. When I bought the musk cotton candy, I wasn't really expecting much of it, because cotton candy just is a sugar note and a fluffy note, that sort of thing, adding candy to a fragrance, and it wasn't much of the cotton candy that was coming. But after this fragrance set for a while, I do get a prominent cotton candy, but it doesn't stray from being that powdery musky feel of a fragrance. So why I have them and why I just thought to drop a quick video of them is all of them are going to have that common denominator of that powdery musk finish, and it is that musk that builds these DNA that have them bottled in a murky juice. You can wear these fragrances on their own, or you can wear these fragrances to bed, depending on what note is paired with them. As I said, I did try the pomegranate, but that one is in an oil form, so I do get more of the pomegranate coming to the surface than the actual musk. But with these ones that I'm holding, it's mostly going to be the musk that comes to the surface, with the exception of course the musk Salama. So most of these are going to appeal to people who like fragrances that are subtle, who like fragrances that vibe in that baby powder style of fragrance, who work with crowds and don't want their fragrances to be in the forefront, if you will. These fragrances are not the sort that you buy because you're looking for room feeling, projecting, trail leaving type of fragrances. They are going to leave a subtle trail. You are going to feel clean, okay, wearing these fragrances. You are going to feel or you're going to smell good as well wearing these fragrances, but they do not have that piercing nature that you sometimes get from, say, the EDPs or the extracts, where the fragrance itself can then be distinctly in other people's faces. These are just going to embody you with a powdery wrap up, of a feel of a fragrance, and then wafts off whatever it is that builds the fragrance bouncing off there. Sometimes in its prominence, sometimes maybe not. Talk of this vanilla, Tahara vanilla from Gulf Orchid. This would be the sort of fragrance that a lot of people are going to gravitate to, mostly because it says vanilla, right? But what I can say about this, guys, is don't expect like a vanilla 28 kind of prominent vanilla. The vanilla in itself is there, but it's quickly overshadowed by that musk thing, okay? That musk thing, to an extent that maybe the lack of popularity in this type of fragrances is because the musk usually overshadows everything, where you just have that powdery accord, a cleanness happening there, and some people actually want their fragrance to transition to past that. So what I would personally do say with a fragrance like this is, if I do have, let's say, that vanilla 28, and I feel my vanilla 28 is not really giving the weight, I would then layer it with a musk. What the musk will simply do is it will not bring that prominence of the powdery thing in it, but rather tie the ingredients together to give them longevity. So basically that is what you get mostly from these type of fragrances, okay, these Murky type of fragrance. It's just one thing that I thought to come here and educate you on, because they look pretty. I mean, just based on the bottles, they look pretty. This one is, you know, got that blue tinted juice. This one's kind of like a greenish, like a very faint greenish, and this one is like a cream, okay, and then this one is pink. So they look very tempting to purchase, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just simply conscientizing you as to what you would be purchasing and what to expect. Where some people feel these type of fragrances are ideal for bedtime, or for those who work with crowds, you don't want your fragrance to be screaming. Now, this is an exception, and this is why I say this has been in my collection for the longest time, and I could have finished it, okay, I could have finished it, but I just said I'm going to reserve some, because this is one musk that then takes a direction that does not need it to be layered with anything. So it has, you know, like an ice cream finish to it. It also has something in here that is unisex. It doesn't come across as girly as much as it's creamy and ice cream-like. It's not girly per se. There's something in here that is somewhat masculine in this fragrance, but not too masculine enough to say women cannot wear it. It's just a perfect balance of that ideal musk, a musk that can hold its own without needing it to be layered with anything else. So this is an exception, guys, because you don't need to layer it with anything, this musk, Salama, but finding it may be a little bit challenging. So if you can't find it, maybe you need to search websites like eBay or stuff, because I don't think Latafa is still making it. If they are, I don't know, because it's getting harder and harder to find. While these ones have got that umbrella thing, this, as I said, the cotton candy is now coming to the surface to an extent that I would love to try. I think they have a mandarin one, and then that pomegranate, as I was saying. I'd love to try those ones, because I think those ones, just by the fact that this one's cotton candy is now coming out, those two would be ideal for me to try, because I think eventually what this particular line does, it does bring out that fruity aspect that carries that musk without it just sticking to it being the musk. All right, and then as for these ones from the Latafa, I do get a vanilla from here that I do get in here, but it's too early to talk about, you know, the vanilla not coming out here. Maybe it just needs a little bit of some time, because it does say Tahara vanilla. This gives me a vanilla, but it's quite a piercing vanilla, a wild vanilla, if you will, not your sweet, you know, type of vanilla, but almost like an aromatic style of a vanilla. Some can even say leaning smoky there. That is the vanilla that I get here, even a little bit incensey. And then this one unfortunately gives me more of the rose than it does the candy. But that is the wrap up of these fragrances, guys. So yes, you can purchase them. If there are fragrances that are drawing your interest, you can certainly purchase them, but do remember that do not expect beast performing fragrances from these. Do expect fragrances that can make your fragrance beastly, but not necessarily them being beastly if you use them outright. If you use them to anchor fragrances, they will make your fragrances last longer. So yeah, that is it for these must fragrances, and I think I can safely speak for the rest of them, actually, in the sense that they kind of all vibe the same. And I can see other people saying, oh, you smell one, you smell them all. You know, that's the kind of vibe you get from these fragrances. Do not expect creamy fragrances just based on the colors. It's the powder that is being represented by these colors than, you know, a creaminess there. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Do you have any of these musk fragrances? If you do, let me know your thoughts about them. Do you like them? I wear mine to bed, but sometimes I wear mine to layer, like on my skin directly, and then I'll wear my fragrance, and I find that makes them last longer. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this video, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.